What's going on, everyone? In today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about Daniel Razo and how he's been able to travel hack over 20 countries in less than what, 5 years?
Yeah, 5 years, yeah.
So yeah, today we're just going to talk about all the questions that we might have as somebody that doesn't know anything about travel hacking, how is that even possible? So let's just get straight to it. Danny, tell us a little bit about travel hacking, about the reward point system, how you can hack hotels, flights, and even first class trips.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to talk about this because this is going to be one of my passions. Since I was a little kid, all I ever wanted to do was travel. Thank God that I have a dad that he was able to show me traveling at a young age. He took me to Yosemite, he took me to different countries, he took me to Mexico, and I just fell in love with it. So I just wanted to keep doing it. But a big issue that not only for me, but for a lot of people is that they think traveling is expensive. And now that I travel so often, people always ask me like, yo, how are you able to afford it? Or I ask them, I'm like, how come you don't travel? And they always tell me like, oh, I don't travel because it's expensive.
Yeah.
But what they don't understand is there's tips and tricks and hacks that you can use that you can travel for free. So the last couple of times that I was able to travel, I leverage credit card points, I travel hack. I'm able to not only have financial freedom, but time freedom, because that's very important as well. So that's what I'm gonna be talking about today on how I was able to do it. And I wanna show other people how they're able to do it too.
That's awesome. And I like that you mentioned a little bit about how you were kind of had that issue where you wanted time freedom from your business or whatever you were doing in the past. I know you've been a business owner for a while now, but let's talk a little bit about that time freedom, how you make money now while you travel, because that's kind of unheard of. It's a new thing coming up. I see more and more people talking about it, but it's still foreign to a lot of people. Whenever people ask like, hey, how do you make money and you travel? So I know you're kind of like really heavy on making money online while you're traveling. Can you talk to us a little bit more about how we can do that? Like how someone can do that?
Man, that's a great question. Because when I first got started in my travel hacking, travel journey, a big problem was that I was stuck, man. So I had different businesses that I had. And when I would work on those businesses and I had clients that were local. So what happened was since I had all my clients that were local, I wasn't allowed to travel because I would have to tell my clients like, hey, I can't show up these couple of days because I'm gonna be out of the country. And they didn't like it. A lot of my clients, I would lose them. So that became frustrating. So I had to figure out a way on how to make money online. That's what I specialize on, because when you can make money online, and I always love to talk about digital products.
Right.
There's different types of products that you can do. Physical products is a big thing that a lot of people are doing right now. But I think that digital products are even better. And the reason it's better is because you can make one product and you can sell that product multiple times. While a physical product, you have to have first a location. It can either be your house or it could be, let's say, brick and mortar. That's bad because now you're tied into a specific location. Next, you're gonna need employees. And that was a big problem for me. Having employees, watching over them. One thing that's gonna happen is if you have employees and you're a business owner, you wanna travel, the employees aren't gonna be working as hard as they could if you're not there. You're the boss and you are responsible for making sure that the business is running smooth. So when you leave, the employees aren't gonna be doing their job. The productivity is dramatically gonna drop. And so I 100% recommend doing digital products. And the way that you get into that is I love to talk about first, affiliate marketing. A lot of people already know about that, but there's different realms to affiliate marketing, right? A lot of people want to sell affiliate marketing products with, let's say, Amazon, right? Like, oh, let me just send a link. This is something that you might see a lot on YouTube. Now, that isn't bad, but the thing about it that is bad is that you're not going to be getting a lot of profit from that. So what I teach is to use affiliate marketing or affiliate products, but you want to make sure that you get a digital product, because when you use a digital product, not only you don't have to worry about is the product getting shipped on time, because it's a digital product, it's going to be sent automatically. But on top of that, the good thing about digital products is that you can make good commissions off of it, because you can sell. So for a digital product, it's not physical, right? So the profit margins on a digital product can be up to 100%, right? Because you created the product once and you're reselling it. So the affiliate if you do an affiliate program, it could be up to 30%, 40%. I even seen up to 50, 60, 70%. So that's just one way to get into it. Selling affiliate products, doing that, but there's multiple realms that you can get into. But I'm a big component of jumping in and selling something digital. We're in a digital age right now. If you're not selling something online, physical or digital, you're behind and you need to catch up.
Right, 100%. And I definitely understand what you meant when you said you were a business owner and you had a physical location, or you were just tied to a physical, area. You were locked into a one city, right? I totally understand because I used to own the shop back in the day. Whenever I try to take a trip, everything would be chaos. So I 100% agree. And I think that's one of the reasons why we connected so much, is because we're both kind of on that same, we want to make money while we travel, but we don't want to have, obviously we want to have businesses, but we want to be able to travel while we make money. That's almost impossible with a brick and mortar business, unless you just have everything, you got managers, you got all these people you have to look over. But that's crazy that, you made that happen for you. A lot of people don't, make that happen. So how did you find the physical, the type of product, whether that's digital, how were you able to research that product? Like what does it take to someone find a winning product, whether that be digital or physical, but let's just say digital.
Right.
How does someone find that digital product that's going to make them money, to give them time leverage, time freedom, and of course make them money?
Yeah, that's another great question. So the first thing that I always recommend is finding something that you're passionate about. Another thing is something that you're interested in. You don't have to be passionate, but you have to be interested. And the third thing is something that you already know, and you can monetize from information from using these products. So you have to pick one of those three, okay? And as soon as you pick one of those three, now you can go ahead and figure out how to monetize it. And for me, the way I was able to figure that out is by complete accident. I remember the first time I made money using affiliate marketing was the fact that I bought a course. I was in real estate for a couple of years ago. I used to be deep into real estate, wholesaling, fix and flipping, things of those sort. And I came across this course on real estate. And I thought the course was interesting. I was like, okay, this is a cool course, so I bought it. But the only issue with that course was it was a little expensive. I think it cost like $3,000 at that time. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? I have to invest in my education. So I went ahead and I bought that course. I started to learn it was like a side of real estate, but it was niched down. It was different than what I was actually doing. Right. But it was interesting. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and buy this course because I just thought it was gonna be a good investment at that time, which it was. I started implementing what was being taught in that course. And then what happened was the person that created the course noticed that I was getting a lot of success from it. And so he asked me, he was like, hey, Danny, do you want to jump on a YouTube video? And so I was like, all right, cool. Like that's no problem. So I jumped on the YouTube video with him on his channel. And at the end of the YouTube video, he asked me like, Danny, is there anything that you want to say? And I was like, you know what? Let me just shout out my Instagram. Just follow me on my personal Instagram. And I shouted out my personal Instagram account. And guess what started to happen? People started to message me and ask me questions like, hey, Danny, is this course worth it? And what I've noticed is that people began to ask the same questions over and over again. And instead of answering those questions over and over again, I decided to, you know what, I'm just gonna make a YouTube video, because I was getting hundreds of DMs at that time because the person that created that course was popular. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna make a YouTube video. I posted it on my personal YouTube account and I started to get thousands of views. The person that created the account then saw my video and he was like, hey, I see you getting a lot of traction on your, because I made a review video on his course. He was like, I see you get a lot of traction. You want to put an affiliate link in the bottom of it, you can get a commission. And I was like, okay. I was like, how much is the commission? He was like, 30%. I was like, all right, let's go ahead. Let's just do it. I started to check my inbox. It will say that I got a sale.
Right.
And I didn't believe it. It was 30%. 30% off of like $3,000. It was like, I think it was like $600 at that point. So I was making $600 commission from that affiliate offer. And I didn't even know at the time. I didn't believe it. I would see it. I'm like, no, it's not true. But it was true. I started making money like that. But like, to answer your question, all you have to do is find something that you're interested in, that you're passionate about, or something that you already have knowledge in. And so now I'm talking about travel, right? Because I understand a lot about the travel niche because I've been doing it for a long time. I've been able to travel to a lot of countries, and the people start to ask me questions. So I just do that. I implement that same strategy, right? So everything that I've learned, I just create a YouTube video and I share it out and give value to people. And that's like the name of the game. Give value in a topic that you're passionate about, that you're interested in, or that you know a lot about. And then you're gonna notice that whatever you give out, you're gonna get back to. So to answer your question.
That's solid. So what if someone, because there's a lot of things going on right now. So you got affiliate marketing, you got things like digital products, physical products. So can you explain to like somebody that's watching this, like, okay, so what does he mean by physical, digital, affiliate? You know, because now they got like TikTok Shop.
Yeah.
So can you kind of tell us like, all right, this is the difference between these three? Kind of just give a quick detail on each one and which one you rather see someone, you know, win or be successful with.
Yeah. And the reason I can speak on this is because I've done all of them. I've done every single business idea that you can think of. I've done them all. So physical products, I've started my own physical store. I used to sell dog supplies, right? Like things to comb a dog. I did drop shipping. I did, let me just answer your question. So physical products. Physical products is when you sell something that you can hold, right? So let's say this ring. You create a store and you sell rings. So that's physical products. Next is digital products. A digital product can be an audiobook, right? Which means that you create a digital product like an audiobook, an ebook, a course, and you can resell that multiple times. All you have to do is create it once. And this is why I always recommend to people to start there. Third is affiliate marketing. And for people that don't know what affiliate marketing is you're selling someone else's product. So it could be physical or it could be digital. So I know that you guys have seen it on YouTube that people have links like, hey, if you guys want to get my tripod stand, if you guys want to buy this camera, this is a link. When you click that link and you buy that product, it'll give you a commission. So that's for affiliate marketing. But what people don't understand is you can do affiliate marketing for physical and digital. So there's both. Okay. But like I've mentioned, it's always better to go with digital products because when you go with digital, the commission is higher. While in physical products, there's not a lot of room. There's not a lot of leverage for you to make money because it's first you gotta buy the physical product. The person that's making the product has to make a profit. You have to ship it. Right. And then so the commission for you is going to be tiny. It's going to be 10%, 5%. I've seen it down to like 3%. And you don't want to sell something for 3%. And you got to sell thousands of products. Right. Unless that's your plan. But let's say if you sell a digital product that's $3,000 and you make 30%, now you're making good money, right? So there's a difference. And I just recommend it because I think it's easier and I think it's quicker. And why not, man? If you can make more money, why not?
Of course, man. That's really good key information right there because, you know, there's so much information out there. We don't really know which is which. You know, it's just kind of like all blurred into one now. You know, unless you do your research. And yeah, I've heard that industry standards for digital products around 20 to 30%.
Yeah.
So that is true that I have heard of that. Now, that's awesome, man. So tell us what we do with this money once we see a little bit of cash coming in. How are we gonna travel hack? All right. Yeah, let's talk about travel hacking. You know, how did you even get into travel hacking? You know, like how did you get into that?
Man, the way that I got into travel hacking was that, so I've known you for a while, right?
Right.
And a story was that I remember fresh out of high school. We're fresh out of high school. You invited me with another friend to go to Peru. And at that time, I was a server. I wasn't making a lot of money. I was working in Arizona. It's probably making like $3 an hour. That was a server wage over there. And then you get paid tips. So I wasn't making a lot of money. Plus I was studying in college. And then you were telling me, it's like, hey man, we're going to Peru. You should come with. Since I was studying and I was working, I was like, man, I can't, man. It's not gonna be possible. And you were like, why? I just don't have the funds for it. But then you told me like funds, like credit, bro, like use your credit card. And I'm like, no, I don't want to get into debt. He was like, no, debt. No. We're not talking about debt. We're talking about credit card points. And I was like, credit card. I didn't know nothing about it because I grew up in a Latino family, man. And it's known for Latinos that we think that credit is evil. We think credit is like the devil. And the reason they think like that is because credit is like a double-edged sword. You can do a lot of damage, right? You can travel hack, you can travel around the world, you can buy free hotels, stuff like that. But also, if you don't know how to use credit, it can do a lot of damage back if you don't know how to handle it properly. And so unfortunately for my family, they didn't understand credit and they didn't know how to use it right. So they got hurt from credit. So they try to protect me. They try to protect me and say like, Danny, don't get into credit. Don't open up any credit cards, because if you do, you're gonna get cut. Right. And so I was always scared of it. But then I started hanging around with you. I started hanging out with other friends. And they were telling me like, no, man, it's not as bad if you know how to use it properly.
Right.
And so,
just for the record, we're not going out and saying, hey, rack up a whole bunch of credit card debt, right?
never. No. You have to be responsible. So like I said, it's a double-edged sword. If you're responsible, if you know how to use the tool, you can do a lot of damage. By damage, I mean you can travel for free, you can get free hotels, you can get first class, business class flights for cheap because you know how to use it. But if you don't know how to use it, and if you're irresponsible, you're gonna go ahead and you can do more damage to yourself than good for yourself, right? So yeah, like I was saying, you wanted to go to Peru, I couldn't go. You told me about credit card points. I didn't believe it at the time. But then I also saw you go to not only to Peru, but I saw you go to Europe. And then I also saw you go to Asia. I think it was like Thailand or something like that. Yeah. And I was just like, that was like a couple years, right? And it started to pass. And I was like, all right, man, you got to get me on. Put me onto like credit card points. And you were teaching me about that, but I also did a deep dive, right? Because it's a rabbit hole. You can get deep into it to find out all these tips and tricks and things of those sort. So I was like, man, I got to get deep into it. So I started doing my own research. I started to, it started to be fun for me, right? I was like, all right, let me see how much I can hack. Let me see how much I can play the system. And when I say play the system, I don't mean that you're taking advantage, but what I'm saying is that you are leveraging and you're just using your knowledge to like get good deals. So basically what you're doing, you're a good deal finder. That's basically what you're doing, right? You're not doing anything illegal. It's all legal. A lot of people use it. It's just people just don't know about it. They don't have the knowledge for it. And I was like, man, I started to do my research, started getting free flights. I got my first free flight, right? And I was like, okay, this is cool. And then I started leveraging more. I started doing more and more. And now I travel at least once a month, if possible. But now I've been doing a little bit more. Like this month, I traveled to 2 different countries, and I'm traveling to a different country next week. I'm going to Berlin, all the way down to Istanbul, like I said. And
you're traveling more than me now.
Yeah. So it's just because I understand the game, and that's really all it is. You have to understand the game. If you know how to play the game, it becomes fun, right?
It's fun, man. Once you get that first free travel, it's like, why would you want to pay for this again? Same thing with the hotels. Yeah. Like, oh man, I'm getting these hotels. I mean, look at where we're staying at right now. We didn't pay for this.
Yeah, like right now we're in Mexico. Travel hacked the whole way. Like, didn't pay for any flights over here.
I didn't pay for any flights.
No.
It's just normal now. Right?
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So tell us like what the mindset shift was for you when you saw that transition from you seeing that credit wasn't as risky as people like your family members told you, into something that could be used as a tool for not just your business, but just for your personal life. So tell us that mindset shift that you saw inside that transition time.
For me personally, I remember when I first got into credit, I didn't do a good job. I wasn't responsible. I messed up my credit, right? Like what I mean by that is I wasn't paying what I was supposed to be paying. I was just doing the bare minimum. I didn't understand. I just got into it because I wanted to get into the credit game. I want to go ahead and take these free flights. I wasn't aware. I didn't know. So I had to learn the hard way. And I messed up my credit. But then I decided one day I was like, no, I need to get back into this game. And I started to fix it. And I fixed my credit, went back to, a decent score. And now I'm like, I understand. I understand how important it is. I've seen both sides. I've seen how dangerous it could be. But then I was like, if you are responsible, if you know what you're doing, if you use it correctly, like I mentioned that analogy with the double-edged sword, you can use it for yourself. You can go and travel. So that's how I did the mindset change, is by just experiencing it. Now, if you want to do it correctly, all that you have to do is understand, number one. Number two, you have to be responsible.
Be responsible.
That's
right.
it.
Yeah.
If you're a responsible person, if you understand and you know the knowledge, it's great. You don't have to really worry about it. But me being young, being irresponsible, I've learned the hard way. But now I understand how to use it, and now I'm using it to my advantage.
Nice. And what can someone that's, maybe they're in your position a couple years ago that they didn't really know what to do as far as travel hack. Maybe their credit's like injured, like maybe their credit's not where it needs to be because you need good credit in order to get access to these type of credit cards that give you reward points, right?
Yeah.
What would you tell someone that's in your position or was in your position prior to knowing all this knowledge about travel hacking?
Yeah. Number one, if your credit is bad, you got to fix it. Right. So go ahead and you know why your credit is bad. You haven't been paying those bills. So you're going to have to put on your big boy pants, start paying them bills, That's for thing number one. Number two is there's different type of strategies that you can use, right? Sometimes you're going to have to work your way up. There's still great cards in the beginning that you can get started with. Chase has their cards, the Chase Freedom, right? Those are great cards to get started with. And there's also, you can also get started with secure cards.
Secure cards.
Right? There's also other little techniques that you can use. There's like becoming an authorized user in someone else's account. And if you don't know what that means, is that you're piggy banking off someone else's credit. And that's a great way. If you know someone that has good credit, you can ask them. A lot of times, maybe your parents might have good credit or have good cards, or maybe your friends. You can ask your friends. That's what I did. I had to ask some of my friends. I was like, "Hey, man, can I jump on as an authorized user?" They're like, "It's cool with them." So that there's a little bit of tricks that you can do. It can get a little bit complicated as well, but like I said, man, we have a community that we help people to do all these stuff, right? Because it can get complicated. So that's why we have a community that people can join and they can ask as many questions as they want so they can get the knowledge.
Perfect, man. So out of all the trips that you've been to, tell us about, the few couple trips that you took where you're like, man, there's no way I'm going back,
Yeah.
I'm taking a trip every single month.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your experience, man. Like, how was those first couple trips? Like, where did you go? What was your favorite destination that you've been to?
Favorite destination? All destinations have something unique about them, something special about them. So it's hard for me to pick one. My heart is in every little destination that I've been. There's some cool countries out there. Costa Rica, if you guys haven't been there, beautiful, green, tropical, very nice. And it feels good when you know that you travel hacked over there, right? Like you just go and you're just like, man, I didn't pay for this flight. Also, when I went over to Europe, when I went over to France was a different experience. Europe is a different vibe. I love to go down to the Americas, South America. So Colombia. Colombia is really nice. If you are a person like myself that, you want your dollar to stretch, your dollar becomes stronger in Colombia. There's a lot of beautiful women in Colombia. So if you're a single guy, you're going to enjoy yourself over there as well. Mexico, the food in Mexico, everyone knows the food in Mexico. We're over here in Mexico right now.
It's top tier.
The food is phenomenal.
Top tier.
Great food and great culture as well. So a lot of places, they all have my heart, man. So I want to go everywhere. I want to check out what's going on. I want to see what's going on in like in some remote parts of the world. So that's my goal, right? And you guys can follow my journey. Follow my journey on TikTok. Go ahead and follow my journey on Instagram. Dan, Mr. Worldwide. Go ahead and follow that account. You can go ahead and you can check it out. They'll be in the description. And I'm traveling everywhere, man. Like I said, next week I'm doing a 10-day tour over in Eastern Europe. So it's gonna
let's talk about that, man. Like what place are you gonna go to Europe?
Europe. So I never had the opportunity to backpack. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a backpack trip. And so we're gonna start all the way down to Berlin. And we're going to travel all the way down to Turkey. There's a town called Istanbul, and beautiful. I've heard it's beautiful. I've seen a lot of movies about it over there. And we're just going to be stopping down all the Eastern European countries, Romania, Czech. We're just going to be going Poland, all those countries. We're just going to see what's going on. Just want to see what's going on over there, see the food, see the culture, have a different experience because you get different perspectives, right? If you get stuck in one perspective here in the United States, you only see things one way. But when you go to different countries, you start to see that, oh no, people don't think the same. Because one thing is groupthink, right? And you understand that in different countries, they're gonna be like, oh, you Americans are like this, you Americans are like that. And we see it over here in America. We're like, oh no, they're jealous because we're one of the best countries in the world. But in reality, no, there's different perspectives that we have to look in. And so that's what traveling teaches you. And that's one thing that I love about traveling.
Yeah, another thing that's awesome too whenever you travel is you get to meet other people that have internet based businesses.
Yeah.
So you can go to certain areas like coffee shops and you might bump into someone that's doing affiliate marketing already. And that's like light years ahead of you, you know? Yeah. So imagine bumping into someone like that. Hey, you know, they might have been in that country for months, you know, making money online. So that's another thing that I've noticed whenever I've traveled too. So that's pretty cool, man. What are the fastest strategies to travel hack? What's like one of the fastest ways, like if someone's watching this video, can you tell them a little bit like some action steps, like simple action steps, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like, all right, this is what you guys need to do. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Can you let us know?
Yeah. So the first thing you guys can go ahead and do is leverage your credit card points. If you're not using credit cards, you're doing yourself a disservice. So understand and learn the credit card game and use points. And what credit cards do is to incentivize you to join their credit cards is they're gonna be like, hey, here's a welcome bonus. And with that welcome bonus, you can go ahead and transfer those points over to buy an airline. So that's like number one. That's number one thing you could do is do your research on which credit cards are the best for your situation. Because I don't know what's your credit score, right? We all have different credit scores and different tiers and different budgets. And so understand where your credit is at, understand how much your budget, and then leverage those sign-up bonuses. And then there's also ways that you can push and maximize those sign-up bonuses as well. And a lot of people don't understand how to do that. So you can go in and you can maximize those points so you can get more value. So let's say in Amex, right, you have 100,000 worth of points at Amex, which can translate to, let's just say roughly $1,000. There's ways that you can push that $1,000 to be worth up to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. So there's little strategies that you can go ahead and use. Of course, we talk about that in my community. And as soon as you start using that, you can start traveling first class. You can start traveling business class. There's a lot of techniques that you can use. And like I said, it's a deep, deep rabbit hole that you can dive into with credit card points. But that's the first thing you could do is just leverage those sign-up bonuses.
Right. Yeah. And if someone was able to kind of get some free information, maybe on YouTube, do you think like they would be able to kind of like get to the position you are just by, you know, doing it by themselves, or would they need some sort of community, some sort of hand to help them out? I know, you know, me, I'm really big on mentorships. I know you invested into mentorships as well. Is that something that someone might want to, you know, invest in?
So if you want to go down the YouTube University, that's completely fine. But like I said, man, I'm that type of person that I want to learn things quickly. And if I have a question, I want to be able to ask someone and being able to get an answer quickly. And so it just depends on how fast you want to learn. If you want to do it all on your own, that's completely fine. But for example, like I do martial arts, right? I do Muay Thai. And in the beginning, I was doing it all on my own. I would just watch YouTube videos on it. And then one day I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and get a trainer. When I got that trainer, I already thought in my head that I was good in Muay Thai. I was like, I'm already good because I've been doing it on my own for a couple of months. As soon as I went with that trainer, I realized I was trash. I didn't know what I was doing. He was correcting my form. I was doing things incorrect. And I learned way more from a trainer working like 3 days out of that week than I did that whole month, because he just corrected small tweaks. He said, oh no, you're doing that wrong. Oh, make sure that you do this. You stretch like this. You need to do that. And that's how I like to learn. And I think it's better, but it depends on what type of person you are, right? So it really depends. If you want to go ahead and do this, I have a community where you can go ahead and join. And we have not only people that are learning and want to learn together, we have course, step-by-step outline where you could just learn specific tactics and techniques so you can get straight to the sauce, right? And on top of it, you can get straight to me. We can have a one-on-one conversation, and I can help you. Hold your hand so that any questions that you have on travel, you can get them in that community. So I highly recommend people to check it out if they're interested.
Nice, man. And hey, I know we got a lot of young men, you know, probably watching this, young 18-year-old, 24-year-old guys. Dude, let's just cut to the straight to the cut, man. Like women versus the women over there. So women outside the country versus the women here in the states. You know, which one are you picking? Why and from what country?
Yeah, man. See, I'm part of the passport bro movement, okay? I'm part of the passport bro movement. I'm not gonna lie. And the reason is because, I've lived in America my whole life, right? And as soon as you go to a different country, you start to realize that the women over there have different values and different beliefs, right? They're more traditional, and that's the type of person that I am. I'm a traditional person by heart. If you're not traditional, America's a great place, but if you are the type of person that wants a woman that cooks, that clean, that doesn't mind staying in the house, that wants to take care of the kids, that is affectionate, right? The women over there, like for example, I went to Colombia, and the women over there would always call me, mi amor, and they will say words like that, and then to me that pulls my heartstrings, and I fall in love. To me, it's very feminine, and that's something that I enjoy. And so, to answer your question, from all the places that I've been to a lot, right? I think Medellin, Colombia, of course, is going to be one of the top tier places. One, because the women love Americans out there. The Colombian women love Americans. So that's good already, right? Number two, the women are feminine over there. I love their accents. I love the way that they talk. And there's something in the water over there that it's like so many beautiful women when you're walking around. You can go to places like El Poblado. That's where all the tourists go, but it's not just in that area, right? You can go outside. I have family. My family is actually from Colombia. So I get to travel outside, and I get to go into the city where it's real, where it's cheap, right? And even when you go inside the city, everyone's just beautiful over there. One thing that I've noticed is that they value walking. Like a lot of people walk or use the bus. It's big over there. And that just keeps the women fit. On top of it, one thing that you notice is that people don't eat, or they eat dinner early. So you'll see people eating dinner at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, wow.
Dinner, yeah. And it could be up to 2, 3, 4 o'clock. While over there in America, a lot of people like to eat dinner late, which is not good, especially with it's highly processed food usually that they're eating, right? It's dipped in a lot of oil. We like to eat a lot of oily food. And so that's not good, especially if you're eating it late night. While over there in Colombia, no, they don't like to eat that late. They like to walk around. And on top of it, there's a lot of beautiful people over there, and the women know that. And so they like to take care of themselves. All the women are, when you see them, you'll notice that all the women brush their hair and wear nice clothing when they walk out. You're not going to see the women over there walking around with like joggers, or or pajamas. You're not going to see them doing none of that over there. No, they value their looks, and it makes a big difference. For example, when I went to the airport, you will literally see the difference between the American women, because no shade to the American women, but they like to wear.
So American women, y'all watching this, listen.
Yeah, there's no shade to the American women, but they like to wear sweatpants to the airports. And I've also noticed that American women like to use the messy bun, right? And so they have the messy bun. They're wearing like a sweatshirt, and they're wearing jogger pants.
Stop the messy bun.
Yeah. And they're wearing pajamas at times because they want to be comfortable, because Americans value comfort. While I've noticed that the Colombian women over there, they value more looking good. So they're wearing like nice, dress pants, right? And they're wearing like shirts with collars. Their hair it's done, even if they're traveling, because they don't value much of being comfortable. They value looking better. So I just see that, and I'm like, I'm more attracted to the Colombian women, right? Because to me, being well put together looks better, and I'm attracted to that.
Nice, man. Nice. No, I definitely agree. And another thing is respect. Yeah. We're seeing a lot of like less respect for each other here in the States, like men and women. I feel like we all need to be in a mutual respect, respecting one another, not trying to separate us. And I always felt like that whenever I went to another country. I felt more connected to the people. People are just generally nicer. Let's talk a little bit about safety. Do you feel like safety is a big thing whenever you go travel? I know you've been to 20 plus countries. I've been to several countries. let's talk about a little bit about safety. Like, how do you feel? Whenever you travel, do you feel unsafe, like versus like here in the States?
You have to take precautions anywhere you go. And I take the same precautions if I go to downtown LA as if I go to Tijuana, Mexico. And a lot of people will say that Tijuana, Mexico is very dangerous. And I just came back from there last week and nothing happened. I was completely fine. I didn't get robbed, nothing, right? So when you get into these cities, when you finally get in, you realize, oh, it's not as dangerous as you hear people talk, right? And me personally, I do believe that there's propaganda being pushed saying that these countries are bad. I'm not saying that it's a saint city over there, right? But what I'm saying is that they push a lot of negative publicity. So if one bad thing happens, they're gonna push it over national news over there in America. While if something bad happens in America, let's say something happens in downtown LA, you don't even hear about it. So that plays a big role in it as well. So I think that there's a little propaganda in that, because every time I went to Mexico, never had any issues. I've been to Mexico a lot of times. Not once have I had an issue. The people here are extremely nice, very nice, right? Because Mexicans, they're more of family oriented, right? They like talking to their neighbors, social. I've noticed that even little kids, they like to talk. While you go to America is more closed. They're more to themselves, right? It's because we just want to focus on getting more status, getting more money, which isn't necessarily bad, but it does have its cons, right? There's pros and cons to both lifestyles. But Mexico is more welcoming. They're more, people are more likely to talk to you. If you walk up to a store, the clerk is more likely to have a conversation with you. While in America, it is different over there because I believe it's our culture. But to answer your question, I've never felt unsafe going to Tijuana, going to Mexico City, going to Rosarito, going to Ensenada, going to Medellin, Colombia, going to Costa Rica, going to El Salvador. Never felt unsafe in none of these countries. Never, not once. Never had a problem. The only problems that happen is if you start to bring problems, right? So if you are being obnoxious, if you're being loud, then you're gonna see some problems. But other than that, if you're to yourself and if you're smart and if you make sure you look around, be careful because not every city is dangerous. You can go down to downtown LA, it could be dangerous over there.
Yeah, and the United States can be dangerous as well, right? Yeah. So I definitely agree with that. I've never felt endangered being in another country. Europe, a lot of people pickpocket in Europe, so that happens. Places like Mexico, obviously, is known to be dangerous. Never had an issue, but we also do speak another language, which helps us out. So if you guys do travel the world, it is good to learn another language, or at least try to attempt.
Yeah, like when I went to France, I tried to learn French. Yeah. I wasn't the best, but it's out of respect. I feel like respect goes a long way anywhere you go. So it's just the respecting of me, knowing that I'm going to their country and I'm gonna try to at least learn the language, at least the basic hello, how you doing, thank you, things of those sort. You're not gonna learn a lot in a month, right? But I try to learn as much as I can. Nice. Respect, yeah.
Of course, man, respect goes a long way. So awesome, man. So man, we were pretty much like 50 minutes in. Is there anything that you want to tell the travel hack community, or maybe there's someone that's watching this that's wanting, to see a couple countries, but they don't want to spend, $2,000-3,000 just to go to Europe, right, which is normally like, that's just the basics, just to, have a good time, see at least one to three countries. What would you tell someone that's on the fence? Maybe they've been watching you for a while, or maybe they've been trying to travel. What would you tell that person?
You have to take the risk. No risk, no reward, right? So a lot of people are scared, but if you're scared, stay home, right? And stay in the comfort of your home. But if you, like are like me, I can't stay home. I can't stay locked up. I gotta go. I gotta see the world. Yeah. And so the only thing that's stopping you is knowledge, man. Like, to be completely honest, and I know that sounds cliche, but that's the only thing that's stopping you. If you can go in, accumulate, get that knowledge, use it, and use it correctly, you'll be able to do what you want to do. You can go and travel to places that you thought you never could travel to. And it's all being responsible and having that knowledge. So, like I said, if people want to learn more about this, I have a community that, so like I said, if people want to learn more about this, I have a community that they can go ahead and join. It's not just me, there's going to be a lot of like-minded individuals, and we're all going to be sharing the tips and tricks that we've learned along our journey. So I highly recommend, if people want to get started, to join that community. I think it's a great place to get started.
Sweet. So, man, this has been an insightful interview with Daniel Razo. Daniel, how does someone get into contact with your community, or what are the next steps to do in order to contact you?
They can go ahead and reach out to me on Instagram. That's probably a good way. I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, Mr. Worldwide. I have different names on different ones, but I'll go ahead and put them on the screen. And just go ahead and reach out. You can send me a DM. I'm answering all DMs. Or just join my community. My community, you go get one-on-one treatment, and any questions that you may have, I'll go ahead and answer them for them.
Awesome, man. So this is Daniel Razo, again, Mr. Worldwide. Go ahead and follow him on Instagram, TikTok, and make sure to join his community so you can get access to all the travel hacks that are inside his community, and you're waiting to go see the world, man. Go see the world, have a good time, enjoy life at a fraction of the cost.
That's
man,
good.
Daniel,
Thank you.
Good to see you, man.